There's someone called Joanna Macy, and she does what's called despair work. And really worth looking her stuff up. But in the end, what she comes to is you not to get consumed by the overwhelm of the amount of change, because that's one of the things that can happen. You get completely overwhelmed, and to come back to what is the one thing that you can do that is sustainable for you and will, bring that sort of fulfillment and change and turn the dial a little bit. And really nice, lovely work, internal work.
Yeah, and if I'm saying it rightly, she talked a lot about active hope.
Yes, that's
And
it.
yeah, how we cultivate that
Yeah,
active hope within us is really important because otherwise we're at a risk of yeah, perhaps just spiraling.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's not good, because when we feel low, when we're depressed, we're demotivated, we become unproductive. And all we then want to do, again, I'm talking for a lot of people here, but I watch a lot of podcasts, so I feel like this is somewhat informed. And I know it because I relate to this also myself personally. We just want to numb. I know I want to numb when I'm feeling low or hopeless.
mm,
It's a bit like a case of getting through each day, isn't it, until it passes. But then I become unproductive. My projects don't get the same level of energy from me. And in some cases, I might, not make some projects successful. So it's really important, isn't it, to try and do what we can to stay in that space of hopeful. I know it's really challenging, but
Well, I think you bring something else up for me. And, we've only got a couple of minutes left, but what you bring up is we all need support. That's another sort of disease of our society is for this belief that we should go it alone and that we shouldn't seek support and that we shouldn't talk about, when we're sliding, and that we notice when we're sliding, and the idea that actually we're not islands. We're not islands. I need support, you need support, and so how do we help each other through that? And I think that's what I notice in you, is that you're a really big resource and a big source of support. And then I suppose I would ask you, and where do you get support?
Well, yeah, exactly. I was really impacted maybe 15 years ago or so by the Jim Rohn quote that said, "You're the average of the five people that you spend the most
Yeah,
time with."
yeah,
And I remember saying that to a friend. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this program, but
yeah.
I asked it to him, and he said, "Oh, well, then I'm officially an asshole." And I thought, well, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes we can't help who we spend the most time with
Exactly.
because it's not in our control. But isn't it wonderful, though, to think that there can be some control there, and we can choose who we spend more time
Time
with,
with.
and
Yeah,
who we dial a bit back on, because if
yeah.
it's impacting on then who we become, that's profound, that's huge. So it's really important in the journey, and Social Starters, the book, takes you through this process of really evaluating and auditing all of your relationships to then seeing, okay, well, if I want to be this person, if I want to get there, if I want to start my own social enterprise or become the architect of a new mentoring scheme in my firm, I've got to then surround myself by other people who are doing that so I can see evidence of the fact that it's possible. I can learn from them, soak up their positive energy around it, understand the challenges that they face. So this is a really key part of the process. And so, yeah, I myself have also done that. Sometimes it's just a case of reaching out to people and asking for a coffee, and you never know, they might be in a mode of saying yes themselves, as was Neil Prem, one of my earliest coaches, which I later found out I thought he was just so enamored by our business model and our idea that he just had to come on board as an advisor, that he didn't have a say in the matter. It turned out when I got to know him that he was in a month of saying yes. So anybody that asked
Ah,
him
right.
anything in that month, he said yes to. He was on his own journey. And isn't that wonderful, though, that then he came on board? This is an advisor to lots of amazing businesses in Cambridge. He works with Cambridge University, he's a well celebrated business advisor, and he agreed to be our advisor in the early days of our business, which helped validate
Fantastic.
our model, get new customers, and yeah, make sure that
So
we can thrive.
I should imagine that anybody listening to you will want to either buy the book or get in touch with you or find out a bit more. So how can people do that?
Yeah, email me, hello at social impact support, social impact support, I should say,
Oh, yeah.
or at andreagamson.co.uk. You can Google me. Actually, I'm just really easy to find on Google.
Yeah.
I'm only one of 2 people in the world, so I generally do come up if you put my name, Andrea Gamson, in, and my contact details are everywhere because I'm a big fan, Maria, of an open door policy.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to chat to people, connect, learn from, and give lessons to, and share, and be a part of something that is a movement, really. And so the energy of people stepping forward, I'm not that doesn't bother me. I'm not someone that's like
Yeah.
not going to reply. I reply to everybody.